Hey, thanks for clicking on the video today. Since the release of Crota's End, there has been a lot of discourse about how to maximize your Relic Sword damage, especially against Crota. This is pretty much all in the hopes of getting a one sword. But with all this discussion, I've seen a lot of contradicting comments, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to actually increase your sword damage, show you the proof behind it all, and what does and doesn't work. So by the end of this, we'll know if the consistent one sword is actually possible or not. Starting with the basis of any good scientific process, we have control. Doing just one right click, one heavy attack, we get 28,453. So if the damage is above that, something's up. Starting with the most basic and tried and true damage increase, we have Tractor Cannon. On a debuffed Crota, one heavy attack will do 36,989 damage, which is a 30% increase from the previous number. So that works. Then we've got the other most popular thing I've seen, being Arc Surges. Making sure we have armor charges and having Arc Surge equipped, one right click will give us the damage of 28,453. So, Arc Surges don't work. But I know there were some pretty funky things with Kinetic Surges and stuff like Golden Gun, so one right click on Kinetic Surges gives us 28,453. No increase. So it seems like Bungie actually covered their bases there. Moving on with Surges, one thing I noticed is that the super on the Relic Sword is a Arc Wave. So let's test if maybe Arc Surge actually works on the super. The damage you saw there was the super alone, 31,932. Now if we take that, put back on Arc Surges, make sure we've got armor charges, and when we super, we get 31,932. So again, no increase. Also, while I was testing the super, I wanted to see, can it make orbs? And I put on all orb generating things like heavy-handed, arc siphon, nothing. Can't get orbs from the Relic Sword. And then the last thing I wanted to test with the super was, does the shockwave deal more or less damage? And well, it does the same. So it doesn't really matter if you're super far away or not when you hit it, as long as you just hit it. Back to damage testing, the next thing I wanted to test, which I haven't seen much talk about, is the possibility of Vorpal causing some bug to happen. I don't know if you recall, but Osteostriga had an infinite DOT bug if you had a Vorpal Weapon equipped, so perhaps something similar with the Relic Sword. And it's not. 28,453. Back to more conventional methods, we have Banner of War, the new Strand Titan aspect, which increases damage and was really bugged a while ago. And well, with this, 28,453, no increase. So it's not looking good for our damage increase endeavors. Continuing on with subclass abilities, we have good old Radiant. Super easy to proc, should be a 25% increase. And once I have it, let's see. Well, nope. 28,453. Seems like Bungie really wants you doing the same amount of damage. And on that note, this is where we need to talk about something interesting. I decided to see how light level impacted this, and interesting enough, artifact power isn't calculated at all when you deal damage with the Relic Sword. Because with how all content is, you should be dealing the same amount of damage even if you have 1800 gear, but your artifact brings you to 1810. Well, if you have less or more than 1810, that's what the Relic Sword goes off of. It doesn't care about your artifact, so if you want to deal max damage, make sure you are max gear. And what you're seeing right now is that. My Titan actually had a little bit more power level during this testing, and it did just a bit more damage at 28,647. And while I was on my Titan, I had forgot to test this on my Warlock, but we did Lumina, which is another very popular option for increasing sword damage, theoretically. And once we have Blessing in the Sky procced, is it actually going to increase our damage? Well, honestly, I think you know the answer at this point. No, it doesn't. 28,647, same as the last test. And then moving on to the final test we did, good old Synthoceps. I had my friend, the other Titan, do it here. And as you can see, there's a bunch of ads under him. He right clicks, go to the wipe screen, and yeah. His damage is 29,238, but he was a couple light over me. And an extra 600 damage isn't what Synthoceps would give you. It would be much more. So yeah, that's about everything that I could think of to test. We did surges with the normal attacks, the supers, we did all manners of subclass damage buffs, including exotic weapons and exotic armor. And, well, it seems like they really did their homework and are not allowing us to increase our damage outside of Tractor Cannon. So, to answer the question in the beginning, which I'm sure you can answer yourself, can you consistently one-sword Crota? I don't think so. Unless something comes out where you can animation cancel some sword attacks more than you already can, the one-sword just doesn't seem possible. If there's anything you think might work and you'd like to see me test, leave a comment down below. I'd love to revisit this if you guys have any creative ideas. But other than that, well, the best we got is a 2-sword, and if anybody tells you to put on arc surges or tries to make you radiant, or you gotta do Banner of War or Synthoceps or anything like that, just send them this video. Let them know it's not possible. And as always, if you want to support me, support this channel, you can't leave a comment down below, Relic Sword. Also, while you're down there, like a subscription would be greatly appreciated. And then, as I always in my videos, I hope you are having a great day, and I hope to see you around.